Hi guys, and welcome to the Kapha busting workshop. So today I want to teach you a little bit about how to use Ayurveda to help you this winter. So first, just to start, what is Ayurveda if you are completely new? So Ayurveda is the oldest medicinal health system in the world. So it comes from India and it originated about 5,000 years ago. And the goal of Ayurveda is to maintain health and to prevent disease. So, especially in winter right now, a lot of times we can end up getting sick. And so, I want to use this time to teach you a little bit about Ayurveda and how you can use this knowledge to try to prevent yourself from getting sick this winter. So just to go over the three doshas. So there are three doshas in Ayurveda, and you can think of them as a way to compartmentalize the five elements. So Vata is composed of air and space. It is a lot of movement. Pitta is composed of fire and water. It's a lot of heat and fire. And Kapha is composed of earth and water, and it's a lot of the element of grounding. So today we're only going to talk about Kapha dosha because it is actually Kapha season right now. It runs from late winter until early spring. So if we think about winter during this time, so the coldest parts of winter and going into early spring, it's when we have less sun, we have more snow, rain, clouds, and this overwhelming feeling of heaviness that can happen sometimes. So maybe in the summer, you are really regimented and you go to the gym a few times a week or you go to yoga a few times a week. But then once winter comes around, it's a little bit harder sometimes to keep up your daily schedule. So I'm going to go through a few tips for how to balance Kapha dosha this winter. So the first one that I always mention for any dosha and any season is routine. So you really want to create and maintain a daily routine and stick to it as much as possible. So this means waking up, eating, working, exercising, all around the same time each day. And just to go along with this, so essential oils for Kapha are going to be peppermint and eucalyptus. So if you're someone who likes essential oils, this is something that can help you kind of wake up a little bit more in the morning. If you keep the oils next to your bed and you can just either smell the bottle or rub a little bit on your inner wrist or under your nose, this can really help to wake up the body and the mind. And the two that I would recommend most for Kapha season are peppermint and eucalyptus because they're both energizing. And again, Kapha brings forth this heaviness, this sense of being sedentary, this super groundedness, and we want to kind of do the opposite to balance it. Like Ayurveda says, like attracts like and opposite will balance. So Kapha season is heavy and grounded. So we want to do things that are the opposite of that. Which brings me to the next one, wake up early. So try to rise with the sun. I know that it's so much easier to want to sleep in the winter, but try to not wake up super early, but ideally you would rise with the sun. So whatever that is for you, it's going to depend on where you're living. But Kapha time is from 6 to 10 a.m. So you want to make sure to be awake and try to include movement during this time. So naturally, our bodies are going to crave a little bit more sleep, and they're probably actually going to be a little bit heavier in Kapha season. It's typical that we gain a few pounds or a few kilos, whatever you call them. And that's normal because our body does need more warmth in the winter season. Then when we get more into late spring, early summer, that's when we'll want to lose that. But for right now, it's totally normal if you feel a little bit heavier than normal, not too much, just a little bit, and if you're sleeping a little bit more. But it would be better to go to sleep earlier than to sleep later. So ideally, try to go to sleep 30 minutes earlier if you find that you're sleeping later. We want to wake up and have enough energy to do all the things that we have to do. So next, exercise. So this one is so important during Kapha season. I know it's probably not your favorite time to exercise, but after you do, you know that you feel so much better. So again, because Kapha season is this element of heaviness, we want to combat that with a feeling of lightness. So we want to do things that are more detoxing, things that are going to get your heartbeat up. So trying a new workout class, taking a vinyasa yoga class, add some extra twists into your stretching routine, anything that is going to get your heartbeat up, get you sweating. And yeah, underneath I say make sure you sweat. So this helps to release any heaviness that is Kapha dosha. So try to include this as much as is good for you. It might be 2 times a week, it might be 3 times a week. See what works for you, but definitely make sure to include some form of sweaty exercise during Kapha season to help you feel better. And ideally, it would be from 6 to 10 a.m. or 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. because those are the Kapha time periods, and that's when we feel extra heavy. So try to exercise. Ideally, I suggest the morning, especially for winter, because in the morning, if you get up and get it done, it's over. And you feel really good the rest of the day. If you keep putting it off, okay, maybe I'll do it on my lunch break. Okay, maybe I'll do it after work. The chances of you not doing it are much higher. So if you can, try to wake up a little earlier so you can exercise before you even start your day. Dry brush. So this is one that I love to do during winter. It's really good for Kapha season and for people who have excess Kapha dosha. So the benefits of dry brushing are it's going to stimulate the lymphatic system. It improves immune function by helping to circulate our white blood cells. It stimulates Kapha in the body or any stagnant energy that we have. It helps remove ama. It helps reduce cellulite. It encourages movement and drainage of excess mucus. It promotes skin renewal and exfoliation. And it increases blood circulation, so that in turn gives us higher energy levels. So Ayurveda is really big on abhyanga or self-massage, which can also be really good for Kapha dosha. But I highly suggest doing dry brushing because, again, in winter, we get this feeling of being stuck. We end up sitting more. We're less active, usually, not always, but we can be less active in winter. And dry brushing is going to really help to get things moving again. So I suggest doing it a few times per week before showering. It's really important to make sure you shower after dry brushing because you're going to have dead skin and old cells on your body, and you don't want to have them with you all day. So dry brush and then take a shower. So diet. So this is one that I get asked a lot about. So what to eat for the seasons. So basically you want to eat what is in season where you are. So if you go to a local farmer's market or even your grocery store, if you see what's growing at the current time, that's going to be what's good for you. For example, if you're on the East Coast buying mangoes from Costa Rica, is that what's growing with you in the East Coast of the US? No. Maybe sweet potatoes are growing right now, and that's going to be great for you. So try to choose what's growing for you in your region during that season, and that's going to be what's going to keep you in balance. So for winter, we don't want to have cold foods because winter is a cold season. Our bodies are already cold. And so we want to do the opposite of that, which would be eating warmer foods. So we also don't want to have things that are too heavy because we already have this element of heaviness from Kapha dosha. So we want to eat things that are warm, cooked, and also light. So going from the top, we want to increase spicy, bitter, and astringent. So these 3 tastes are going to be really good for Kapha dosha. And we always want to be cooking with heating spices like chili, black pepper, cayenne pepper, ginger, cinnamon, and cumin. So try to use these spices during the Kapha season. They're going to help with digestion, and they're going to help with bringing our Agni, our digestive fire. They're going to help to rekindle that. And you want to reduce foods right now that are heavy, oily, cold, sweet, salty, and sour. So these are all going to bring Kapha more and more out of balance. So because Kapha is heavy, if we eat foods that are heavy, we're going to be more inclined to want to stay on the couch. So we want to eat things that are the opposite of Kapha dosha, which means we want to reduce or eliminate dairy, cold foods, pastries, and sweets. So anything that's super heavy, super cold, we want to get rid of right now for Kapha season. And some things that I would suggest that are good for Kapha season right now are dal, red lentils, soups, steamed or sautéed veggies, khichdi, stewed fruits, curries. All of these things are going to be good because they are light, they're warm, they're cooked, and you can add the appropriate spices to make them even better and easier to digest. Okay, so cleaning and releasing. So Kapha brings forth, again, this heaviness, this groundedness, maybe feeling stuck. And so the way to get rid of some of that is to clean and release. So you can cut your hair, cut your nails, clean out your closet, and get rid of stuff that you no longer need. So Kapha can have a tendency to accumulate many things and hold on to them, whether that be physically, mentally, emotionally. Kapha dosha holds on to things, and to find this lightness again, we need to release them. So sometime during this season, I would suggest giving yourself, not yourself unless you're a hairdresser, but get a haircut, let yourself feel fresh, cut your nails, clean out things that you don't need anymore, whether it's your closet in your room. Maybe you can go through your pantry. Okay, this is from 2 years ago. I don't need this anymore. Throw it out. And then notice how much lighter you feel after doing that. And then for your physical body, you can do a khichdi cleanse when you feel heavy. So a khichdi cleanse can be what you make it. So ideally, it's 3 days of eating either khichdi for all 3 meals or steamed apples in the morning and khichdi for lunch and dinner. But even just having khichdi for one meal can be beneficial because of the spices and because of the mung dal. It has this ability to both nourish and detox the body. So even if you do 1 day of eating khichdi for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, it's going to help you cleanse. So during Kapha season, as we accumulate more stuff, we feel more heavy. So we want to release some of that. So sometime during this season, try to release physically, mentally, and emotionally. And emotionally, it could mean starting to journal. Journaling can be really therapeutic and really releasing. If you feel like you're holding on to many things, try to start writing maybe once a week and then maybe once every other night. And maybe you feel good to write every night before you go to bed, and that's helping you to feel lighter. So just see what works for you of how you can bring this feeling of lightness into your life. And the second part of cleaning and releasing, which is really important during Kapha season, is using the neti pot. So if you're not familiar with this, it's a tiny little teapot. It almost looks like a little genie bottle. And ideally, you would have one in ceramic. And you put a little bit of salt in, sea salt, and mix it with warm water. And it helps to cleanse your nasal passages. So it's going to really help eliminate excess mucus, which is really typical in winter. It's, for some people, they really hate it at first. I've heard people really not having a good experience their first time. But once you get the hang of it, it can feel really satisfying once you feel how it feels to breathe without having mucus or any buildup in your nasal passages. So the benefits of neti potting, I just made that a verb, neti potting, it will gently remove excess mucus. Like I mentioned, it's really common to have excess mucus if you are Kapha dosha or during Kapha season. So it's typical to have congestion, a cough, respiratory problems. All of this is really common during Kapha season, but the neti pot is going to help release some of that. The neti pot is going to help rinse away any dust, pollen, and any other environmental irritants. It helps to maintain healthy nasal and sinus lining. It helps you to stay feeling clear and fresh, and it helps maintain healthy respiratory function. So it's something I definitely recommend giving it a try. I'm going to give you some links after the webinar. I'll send you my recommendations of the ones that I use because a lot of people like referrals. It's a little bit easier than just, okay, let me try this one. So I'll send you information about what I would recommend, but I definitely recommend giving a neti pot a try this winter and let me know how it goes for you. And my last tip is CCFT, which stands for cumin, coriander, and fennel. So the tea is just a combination of these three things, cumin, coriander, and fennel. And the combination of it is really beneficial according to Ayurveda. I think it's great to have during wintertime when we are feeling maybe a little bit heavier because it has a slight detoxing effect. So the benefits of CCFT are it simultaneously grounds and nourishes the body. It helps to stimulate our Agni or our digestive fire. So during Kapha season or winter, our digestive fire might get a little bit less strong, and this tea can help reignite our digestion. It also helps to break down ama, which is a word for toxins in Ayurveda, and it's going to help break down this in the body and acts as a gentle detox. So it's not like you're going to be sprinting to the bathroom after you drink it, but it's going to help to gently break down any ama that might still be inside of you. So I highly recommend this. I drink it pretty much every night before bed, and it also helps me to signal to my body, okay, it's time for bed. So I use this tea not only because I like it and because of its health benefits, but also because mentally it's my nightly routine that helps me to relax and tell my body and my mind, okay, it's almost time to sleep. CCFT has also been shown to maintain the well-being of all systems of the body, from clarity of mind and absorption of food nutrients to healthy urination and weight management, according to Banyan Botanicals, which is the place where I get the tea from. So again, I'll send you the link for that. But CCFT is something that I definitely recommend. It's super easy, it's cheap, and it's something that you can easily add into your life that's going to help you feel better. And especially during winter, warm tea is something that's going to help balance Kapha dosha. So those are my top ways of how to balance Kapha this season. You want to create and maintain a routine. You want to wake up and move, 6 to 10 a.m. ideally. You want to dry brush a few times per week. You want to eat more warm and light foods, ditch heavy foods for now. And you want to cleanse physically and mentally, so get rid of things that no longer are serving you. Okay, and now I have a few offers for you if you enjoyed this webinar and if you're interested in learning more about Ayurveda. So the first one is a bundle offer, and I'm really excited to share this one because I've been working on it for a long time. And this is a bundle that's going to have everything that I've been offering, plus new lessons. So the Ayurveda bundle is 8 weeks of lessons, each released one time per week. The Khichdi cleanse with information by Dosha. Lots of PDFs and little ebooks for you to use, which has useful and practical information of how you can apply Ayurveda to your normal life. Recipes, guided meditations, and more. The 5-day reset plan for each dosha, which is really going to help you get back on track and back to feeling balanced. And always I have a Facebook group for support that I check in with every day and answer any questions. So this whole bundle is worth over $200 of material, information, and all these things that I'm sharing. And so the webinar price for everything is only $97 US. And this is the lowest that I'm ever going to offer this bundle. It's not going to be this price again. And it's only for the first 48 hours. So on January 29th, the offer is going to expire. So I'll send you some email information about that. And if you have questions, you can ask me after the webinar is finished. And then, so I know some of you have already done part 1 with me. So that was my first 4-week course. And I know some of you want more. So I created part 2 of Find Your Balance, continuing with Ayurveda. And this is only for people if they've already done the first 4-week course. Because if you haven't done the 4-week course, this isn't going to make sense for you. So this is the part that's going to have all the information of taking Ayurveda one step further. So for example, the first part of the course, the first 4 weeks, I introduce Agni. And now in the second 4 weeks, we're going to analyze our Agni. So it's basically taking everything one step further. So the regular price for this 4-week course alone is $97 because it does include the reset plans, plus a Khichdi cleanse and a lot more. And the early access price for this one is $49. And that's for, again, 48 hours only. So in the 2 courses, so the first 4-week course, it's more of an introductory course. So it's going to go through the history, the principles, breaking down the doshas, recommendations for each dosha, learning about digestion, seasonal and daily guides, self-care tips, weekly assignments, and again, the private Facebook group. And then part 2, so weeks 4 through 8, are more understanding your Agni, and I give a few breakfast recommendations by dosha. Assessment of your Agni. So this is when we'll learn about the 4 types of Agni and which one you might be and how to balance that. Signs of imbalanced doshas. Elimination according to Ayurveda. Guided meditations for each dosha. The 5-day reset plan by dosha, and also that will include recipes that you can include for each dosha specifically. And the Khichdi cleanse with specific guidelines by dosha. And again, the Facebook group. So these are the 2 courses that I'm currently offering, and now I'm offering them as a bundle for people who haven't done the first course yet. If you've already done the first course, you can do just part 2. So that's it for today, and now I'm going to open up for questions and answers.